Okay, we're back with another episode of Middle Age Mamas. Guess who's back, 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 back again. Dawn is back. Tell a friend. Dawn is back. She wasn't here last week.
Slim Shady song?
Because we sing it all the time at work when the kids are missing. They come back. We always say, "Guess who's back, back."
Cute.
So it's been on my mind. Welcome back, Dawn. We missed you last week.
Thank you.
So let's get started with the little guilty pleasures because Catherine, who was on our show a few episodes back with the positive thinking and think on it and what if it all works out. So I follow her on Instagram and she posted about letting go of sugar and she was talking about how she sleeps with a bag of gummy bears.
Ooh.
Why did she speak directly to me? Because
I
have Haribo gummy bears on my nightstand. I'm like, is this a middle-aged thing? Because my sister also has Haribo gummy bears on her nightstand. So that's my first guilty pleasure is the Haribo gummy bears that I cannot stop eating at night. Just a handful
Are you sure
a
it's just a
day.
handful? You got a bag.
Well, the bag lasts all week, but I just think it's so funny that so many people do that. I didn't realize that she did it as well, and my sister, the same exact bag.
Oh, me too.
Oh, you too?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's my guilty pleasure, and I have one more. Have you guys seen Love is Blind?
No.
I'm the only one that's sucked into the show. Well, it's over, but that was my guilty pleasure. I'm sure there's
It's a
hundreds
dating
of.
show?
It was a dating show. This is the 6th season, but this season was pretty
6
juicy.
seasons?
Yeah, it was really good.
Who's the host?
Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey
Mm.
on Netflix. I didn't get into it until over the holidays, and I binge watched all of them. But season 6 was really juicy, so I'm sure all the listeners can relate. I know you guys hear me talking about.
All the time.
So those are my two. Who else has one?
I have a guilty pleasure. About two.
Why you sound like
Apparently.
Toni Braxton?
Oh, sorry, did I? Apparently, I like to starve because I'm never eating at the appropriate times. Whenever my son is whenever he has something to do, his schedule is busy, I always manage to feed him and never myself. And so, like today, I haven't eaten anything. We've been gone literally since 9 o'clock this morning, and it's 5, 6 o'clock now.
Because you just forgot to eat?
Not that I forgot to eat, I just don't because I'm just rushing, doing, going.
Right.
And actually, so we had a break. We had games today, and so we had a break in the schedule. And so I took him and a couple of his friends to get a burger to eat, just to get some more energy and something to drink. And I took them to eat, and I did not get anything for myself. But it's because they went to Jack in the Box, and I don't prefer.
Oh, I was gonna say you prefer a home cooked meal, so
Or a salad.
If you don't have your Tupperware.
Or McDonald's French fries.
Yeah. Yeah. But so that's not my one guilty pleasure. And also,
But that doesn't sound very pleasurable.
it's not. I'm being facetious, I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
But who likes to starve?
Who likes to
I was
starve
confused. I
on
was like,
purpose?
okay.
But my other guilty pleasure is that instead of Haribo gummy bears, I like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh.
Yeah, stash.
I'm not surprised.
Addicted.
Your brother's the same
Literally.
way. He has a stash.
Really?
Yeah, addicted. That's it for me.
Well, mine is I love K-dramas. Are you guys familiar with those?
What?
Korean dramas.
Okay, so you're past
On TV?
Telemundo and you went to
Yeah, I went straight to Korean. It's so good. So good. I started watching a couple years ago. Like
Where are you finding this?
on
It's on
Netflix.
KDOC too.
I don't even know what that is. But
That's just when
is
you
it
go
a Korean
past.
channel?
Yeah, and when you go past regular channels on regular TV,
Oh.
19, 25.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's on Netflix and they're so good.
Wait,
You're not talking about anime.
No, I'm talking about it's like soap operas, but it's Korean.
And they have the subtitles, so you're
Yeah.
reading it?
Yeah. It was so good. It's so good.
That's tough.
And so the first one that I watched is called Mine, Mine, and they're so like over the top. Like it's always.
Is it worse than the telenovelas?
I
Is that
don't.
what that
I
is?
don't
Yeah.
watch
Is it
those.
worse than those?
I don't know.
'Cause those are drama filled.
But and the acting is kind of bad in those too,
Not
right?
necessarily bad, but it's super dramatic.
Okay,
Like
so
slapping across the
Yeah.
oh
room.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. I mean, no, they do some slapping too, but it's really good in the sense of like the fashion is amazing. The
Okay.
homes are
'Cause
impeccable.
they make it all there.
Yes, and so it's typically very much like your haves and have-nots. So it'll be like
Oh,
this
Lord.
really wealthy family.
But Asian. Have and have not
Yes.
except for Asian.
Yes,
Yeah, that's some drama.
that's probably that's a show I haven't
That
watched
is.
that.
I've never
Okay.
watched it, but
Oh, I thought you
Well,
were
I
referencing
I
that.
wasn't referencing that. I was just
That's a
saying.
Tyler
that is
Perry
some
original.
drama.
No, I wasn't talking about Tyler Perry. I'm just talking about just in general your haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
But it just very much about a class system, and typically there's someone who's really wealthy who falls in love with like the nanny or the maid or something, and the mom is like,
How
oh
many years have you been
hell
watching
no!
this?
I have been watching it for several years.
That is
So
funny.
you're reading this.
But some of them have voiceovers.
I can't do the voice.
I don't necessarily care for
Because
the
it's like at a
voiceovers.
sync. It's like
Yeah.
Right. It's not
It
the
doesn't
same.
match. Yeah.
But I started talking to some kids at my school one day, and they were overheard them talking about it. I was like, ooh. So then they started telling me, oh, you need to watch this one. You need to watch that one.
Oh,
my
kids are into it
God.
too?
Yeah,
That's funny. I used to love Cookie with her voiceovers.
Because I was
that's
passing
the only time I
out.
like a
I
voiceover.
was like passing out textbooks or something, and it
Mhm.
was Korean. So the kids were taking Korean, and then I said, do any of you watch the K-dramas? And
That
they
is
were
so
like,
funny.
yes.
It's called what?
It's
K-dramas.
K-dramas.
Okay.
K-
Right.
K-
It like yes, but it sounded like you said cage, like
Oh no,
CAGE.
Oh no, K, Korean for Korean.
Oh.
And you can look it up on Netflix. There's
That is
there's a
funny.
there's a ton of them.
I'm gonna have to check
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
there's
I
good
wonder
stuff.
what-
A lot of tiger
That's a dumb question,
moms,
never mind.
just a lot of good stuff. Yes, good. And they look so good. I mean, just impeccable, like everything. They look really
Really?
good. Oh yeah, it's good.
Oh, has it been out for a while?
Yeah,
Like years?
yeah, probably forever. I
Like
started
before?
watching
Oh,
it during
always
the
on
pandemic.
Netflix though, right?
Yeah, that's where I
Okay,
started
because
watching
I'm
it.
imagining like the Korean or the karate movies that used to come on
Oh,
Channel 5 back in the day that were black and white. I'm imagining that,
oh
but just
no,
on
nothing
Netflix.
like that.
No, I
Nothing
watched
like
that. I watched that, but that's not Korean. That's like
That's Chinese karate
or
fighting, right?
Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
nothing
watched
like
a
that.
karate show.
That's
It's
funny.
it's
I'm gonna have to
fancy.
check that out.
Yeah, it's fancy. I'll binge on it. This is a bad guilty pleasure because it has the subtitles. One day I was at work and I was supposed to be teaching, I guess, and
I was supposed to be teaching.
I was on Netflix on my laptop.
You was on
and
your
I
lunch
was-
break.
I was on my lunch break. And I was able to watch it because I didn't have to have the volume up because I was just reading it. And I was like so addicted. I was just wondering like what's
You're
gonna
like,
happen?
get her!
Like what's gonna happen next? What's that mama gonna do? Yeah, you gotta check it out.
That's funny.
It's good.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still in March, and it is International Women's Month, so I hear. So I thought it would be fun to talk about some products that are, women have made, and we can share the news and celebrate women for a quick sec. So a lot of people ask me about the red lipstick that I wear on the show because I love a red. The Lip Bar is black owned, a woman's brand, and Boss Lady. I actually found her on Instagram because she had a great commercial. And
Is Boss Lady Snoop Dogg's wife?
No,
that's the
the name
color.
of the name of the color.
The brand is called the Lip Bar.
Okay, that's still all.
Yeah,
Lip
it's TLB.
Bar.
Stands for the Lip Bar. It's in Target and Walmart.
Yeah.
Or
She's doing
online.
very well.
She's doing great. And she was on Shark Tank.
Oh.
Years ago, they told her no, but she said yes and kept going.
Yes.
It's now a multi-million-dollar brand. So
Wow, doesn't she have
shout
a
out
commercial
to
or something
Melissa.
now? I recently
She has
saw
Billboard. She's
an advertisement.
everywhere.
Oh, awesome.
So yes, her red Boss Lady is incredible. That's the one I always wear on the show. And then I also wear Rich Auntie. that is kind of like a
Ooh.
magenta red color that I love. And then this month for International Women's Day, she did a collab with, is it Millie?
Don't know.
I don't know.
That's the problem these days.
That other brand.
That's the problem with not having commercials. You don't know how people pronounce their
Oh,
products. I have no
right.
idea. It's Miele or Mele, whatever.
I think
They
Miele
did
sounds
a-
good.
Yeah,
Go with that.
it's another black girl, but they did a collab and they came out with this cool hot pink.
Ooh,
I haven't tried yet.
That's pretty.
No, no,
So I'm gonna try this one, but shout out to Melissa and the Lip Bar.
Lovely.
Pick her up her things. They last all day. They're not super drying.
Mm.
I also have on her lip gloss now.
Do they come off? Or are they like matte and like
They're
stick?
matte, but I put her lip gloss on. She has a ton of like skincare, a lot of things. So check her out.
Okay,
I will.
awesome.
What about you? Do you have anything? I do.
Oh, actually I do, but I
Okay.
don't actually have the product with
That's
me.
okay. Tell us about
But
it.
I just like to shout it out. It's a feminine product. It's called the Honey Pot. I
what
use
is
their well, they have
Feminine
tampons, pads and stuff like that. I know that's kind of funny,
Oh,
but
that's
they
not funny.
are
That's so.
they're yes, it's a black female. I can't remember her name, but
But it's the honey pot.
it's the Honey Pot. She makes like feminine cleaning products, all that stuff. I
So
don't
what
use
do
any
you
of that
use?
stuff. I use pads.
Oh, are they like organic?
Yes, and
Oh.
there's like they're all like all natural, no like chemicals or anything, because you know there's chemicals and stuff in those
Yeah,
pads
in the
that-
pads.
and the tampons.
Yeah.
But it's all natural, and they have like really refreshing like
Yeah.
lavender and stuff like
Does it
that.
make you itch or anything?
No.
Okay.
I've tried the pads too. They make me tingle a little bit.
That's the lavender.
Yeah, that
That's what it
lavender.
is.
Where do they sell it?
Everywhere.
Oh, the honey pot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
They're
in
great.
Target.
But are they thick? Because
CVS.
I
No.
think always that's
No.
very thin and you.
They're thin.
I just wear them for
They're great.
overnight because
Oh, okay.
otherwise I don't. Yeah,
But they're
I
all
go for
thin.
overnight.
But do most middle-aged moms wear pads now? Nobody wears tampons anymore.
I think maybe
Well-
for over at night.
I just had an
For
issue,
night.
like a body issue, where I
Oh.
couldn't do tampons anymore.
Oh,
So
okay.
I only do
But I feel like you
pads.
get to a certain point because you're so sick of having your period and so sick of,
Yeah.
you know, the mess of it that a lot of people just merge into wearing pads like we did when we were 12.
I have to do both. I have to do
Oh, all the time.
Probably because
Yeah.
of
First
the
couple days
season
is
in your
heavy.
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because perimenopause requires a lot.
Oh, well, yay. I'm
Yeah.
excited to
Yeah.
look forward to that.
Look
You would think that it would
forward.
wind down. Why does it rev up?
Because it's the,
Just to be
it's the
me.
last hoorah.
And
be
some
me.
people,
Fireworks.
some people love the fact that they still menstruate. Like, well, I'm still menstruating. Like,
No. Why?
Wait, what?
haven't you heard that? Like, the women in their 50s brag about still menstruating. Like, you know, they haven't.
No, I've never heard
Really?
anyone
Yeah,
bragging
so-
about that.
Yeah, I've always heard it as like a bragging right as you get into your late 50s. That
Like I can still have children.
yeah, I
at
think it was Wendy
75.
Williams. She used to always talk about how she's still menstruating.
Girl.
Back in the day.
No, thank you.
But I will gladly move on from
Yeah.
that. Okay, Don, what you got?
So I also have Black female-owned cosmetics. So my daughter and I, we went for the second time last year. It was called Black on the Block. And
Oh yeah.
have you heard about
I've heard
it?
of it. It's like a flea market kind of
Yes,
thing.
Where is it?
yes. It's like a pop-up, kind of downtown-ish. And they have music, they
It's
have
off of the 10
food, they
freeway.
have, they have all Black vendors.
Siobhan participated in that.
Oh, okay,
It-
with her bodysuit.
It's really cool, and so this was our second time participating, and this brand is called The Rich Girls, the THEE. And so I have this red vegan matte lip that I'm wearing.
Okay, so what makes it vegan? Because you're not eating
the
it.
products that they use.
Oh, they don't have like
They're
pig fat
really
or
animal- yeah.
whatever.
And then I have this really cool eyebrow thingy, so it's has a few different things. There's a brush, there's a stick, there's a
And that makes it very convenient. when it's like
yeah.
all
There's
little
all
like that.
kind of little things. It's very cool.
Okay, and where do they sell those?
You know, it has that too. I know
You
that
didn't even know.
This seems like an online.
they
situation.
do have an online boutique. because they actually were out of state and they drove into LA to participate in Black on the Block. So my daughter and I both got some of their products. I don't recall. It could have been Texas.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, I think maybe Texas. But a beautiful, beautiful little family-owned business, black women.
Yeah, support your small businesses.
Yeah, I love supporting Black businesses.
We are one as well. So,
true that.
A couple of episodes ago, we did a segment where we answered a couple of letters, and it was actually a hit. So, yeah, we got good feedback. So I think we'll do it again.
I love your glasses.
Oh, you do?
So
These are
cool.
Amazon.
So cool.
And I think it's only I'm only graduated to the the Magnify 1.
Okay.
Oh, are they all?
Yeah.
Are they all?
They just
I have
look like
glasses.
they're fogged up.
I have glasses all over the house, so these live in the kitchen. Not like I'm cooking, but
Yeah. The kids are probably moving them here, there, everywhere.
okay. So I put my glasses on and read
This
this
is so
one.
cute.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Desperately seeking advice. My 15-year-old girl has terrible eating habits, like to the point where she's borderline high blood pressure. Was also higher due to anxiety, and she's going to the doctor and didn't get diagnosed, but he said that she needed to eat more fruits and vegetables and way less salt. I'm not one to be strict about food, but I've always encouraged and enforced well-rounded diet. When she was younger, she ate mostly home-cooked meals, always with something green on her plate. We're a busy family with activities, so take a lot of fast food. Wait, sorry. I had to make this bigger. We're a busy family with activities, so we take in a lot of fast food. And that's always the option on occasion if time was limited. This is not written very well.
It's okay.
Now she works a lot at a local grocery store and has her own money, so she has the ability to buy her own food and is making awful high salt food choices. She even orders DoorDash in the middle of the night to get McDonald's or Taco Bell while we are all asleep.
Oh my.
She's sneaking food into her room and will eat it all in its. God, I can't read today. She's sneaking food into her room and will eat it in its entirety. For example, family-sized bag of Doritos. I recently brought a double bag from Sam's of chicken mini tacos. I had 4 of them, and she ate the rest, maybe 2 or 3 sittings. That's just the most recent example. Anytime I buy snacks, I have to have it in moderation or it's gone within 1 to 3 days. I buy fresh fruits and vegetables weekly and have healthy options like granola bars, trail mix, cheese, meat, crackers, and anything healthy. Okay, so even though I explained that I buy those treats for her whole family and it's selfish for her to just eat it all up in one day, she'll eat it all anyway. We told her she can't order DoorDash or any other food throughout the night. This is so concerning. She's not a big kid. She's danced for 10 years in marching bands and walks around everywhere. So she isn't lazy or anything, but she's losing control when it comes to junk food.
That's it?
I'm trying to see what else is poignant. Okay, so she says she always asks for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. So I'm trying to tread lightly with her. I see it as, she's a second-born feral middle kid of 3 sisters. She also doesn't want us to body shame her. Thoughts?
That's a long ass letter.
I know, and it wasn't written very well, so I was trying to edit it as I was reading it.
Well, one thing is good about it. Well, first, how old is she again?
15 years old with terrible eating habits.
One good thing is that she is active. Like,
That's
if
what I
she
was
was
gonna
just
say.
sedentary, that would be a real issue.
Right.
She's not doing anything much different than anybody else her age. I would just say to her mother, stop buying that. Stop buying snacks. Everybody's just gonna have to suffer. Sorry, but I go through that same thing with my kid. He takes food to his room, big old bag of Doritos. In the morning time, it's just crumbs in the Dorito bag. My son is very active, and he just, he's at the time of his life where he's eating a lot. His appetite is really huge. But what I have done to curb this, I just stopped buying stuff. I stop buying juice. We drink water. We have almond milk. If there are snacks, there are healthier snacks. Like he never would eat like nuts and peanuts stuff. He'll put that stuff in his bag now. So you just have to kind of try to not slightly, but change and curb the eating habits. The mom sounds like she said she's trying to add fruits and stuff like that. Make meals with salads with fruits and vegetables and like mixed up with some good dressing. Like you maybe have to like push her to try things. But I think that's a step. Like stop buying the junk. I don't care who else is in the house. We all gonna get healthy, and just try to make food tastier with vegetables and fruits.
And then how do you address the part of her buying her own stuff because she works at the grocery store? So she's not with her
all the
24
time.
hours a day.
But I mean, how
do you need to monitor what your kids eat all day long?
You can't. I mean, and then how many hours really does she work? You know, if she's 15, you know what I'm saying?
But maybe she's also doing Uber Eats. I think, and not to cut you off, but I know you mentioned she has anxiety. It sounds to me like there's probably some other issue going on, and she's using food.
Because you remember when we interviewed Leah, and
right? That's what I thought about. That it seemed
that issue. She had that issue.
Oh, when she was hiding food.
Yes, but as she got older and other things started happening in her life, like she was in college,
she was interested in boys,
and she was interested in boys.
Right.
That started to change her.
Right,
yes, that changed what she was starting to do.
Right.
But typically, you know, when things like that are happening, it's because something is going on, and they're using food as for their comfort, and so it seems like, yeah, it's definitely out of control, but
that's how she cures her anxiety.
That's the way, right?
Yeah.
But she needs to find another way because she's not using healthy options, and what's going to happen with that anxiety is it's going to get even worse if she's just feeding it with junk.
Okay, wait. I want to go back to this though because, sorry,
is it?
I'm still looking for it.
She said no. See, she said my 15-year-old daughter has terrible eating habits, like to the point where she's already borderline high blood pressure. Was also higher due to anxiety she has about going to the doctor.
Oh, it's picking up.
So she has anxiety about going to the doctor. Not that she's anxious.
Oh, okay.
So her blood pressure was higher that day because you know how sometimes you go to the doctor and you're anxious and so your blood pressure is higher.
Yeah.
That's what she was talking about. She's not.
Oh, she doesn't have high blood pressure.
No, she does not suffer from anxiety.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I was gonna say because kids that are very active, they eat more. They just do.
Yeah.
And like my sons will go through a ton of
food. That food.
Yeah, 2 or 3 dinners because they worked out so long. So how do you differentiate between a kid that is overeating and a kid that is just growing and needs to eat a lot? I have a hard time with that because I'm like, wait a minute, you just ate dinner. You're really hungry again? And he's like, yes, I'm actually hungry. So. But like you said, keeping fruits and vegetables in the house so that they're filling up on healthier options.
Yeah, and not buying the other stuff.
Yeah, but I'm notorious for fast food because I don't have time every day to cook a home cooked meal. And I don't like to cook really.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm thankful my husband loves to cook and he, takes on the home cooked meal. Yeah, he's a good cook. But that's also a double-edged sword because the kids don't necessarily love what I make because Dad makes amazing gourmet, and I'm like, oh, here's your spaghetti with Texas toast.
Hey,
spaghetti
is good too.
Right, but Christian said he was like, we eat more spaghetti than Italian people.
I would say, go to your room.
Yeah,
that's how I am with tacos.
Tacos.
Burritos.
I'm good at tacos. All that stuff.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is, how do you differentiate between a kid that's overeating to a kid that just needs to eat a lot more food?
Well, I guess it depends on how active she is.
Yeah.
And
that's my trick. If you're active, then I don't care if you're eating junk food because if I'm also providing fruits and vegetables, basically in the morning I'm shoving those things out the door with them. But throughout the day, they go to the vending machine and get chips. And I mean, that's what we grew up eating. Chips and at the corner store buying now and laters. And I just think now parents really just hover and monitor so much stuff and get so worried about so many things that some things need to just let go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
And I also find that the more you talk about it, like say if your kid is packing on pounds, if you start talking about it, that's not going to change anything. Right. You're better off like taking a family walk or.
But she works in the grocery store, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, that's being active too, because when you're in the grocery store, you're not sitting down. You're like walking around, stocking shelves, doing this, doing that. So it doesn't sound like she's like a sedentary person, like she's just sitting around.
Right.
She is very active.
And that's what I'm saying.
And then if she drinks water, that can help flush that stuff out. And I'm not a nutritionist.
Yeah.
But
But do you just think as mothers we just spend so much time hovering and monitoring and watching every little thing now?
I do.
I don't. I think it just depends. It just depends on the age of the kid. It just depends on. I know I'm a little more in their business if I'm noticing a change in their behavior.
Right.
If there seems like there's something going on and they won't talk to me about it, usually that's when I do a phone check and you can find out everything you need to know on their phone.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, I'm not so much. I'm more concerned about clean your room because it's smelling up my house than I am. That's one thing that I'm constantly saying, like, is your room clean? Is your room clean? I'm like the is your room clean police.
Yeah. Right.
But the
now is that a daily thing?
I don't say it to them daily because I know their schedules are full. They don't have time to do a thorough cleaning every day.
Yeah.
But if
you make them make their bed?
No, not in the morning before they go, because we're hustling. One thing I know about my kids, at least the ones that are still home, is that they're like me. I pride myself on being able to get ready in the shortest amount of time as possible. So if I could get ready in 15 minutes, 5 minutes shower, 5 minutes to get dressed, 5 minutes out, I prefer to sleep in as opposed to being up and taking all this time to get ready. So my kids are the same way. Like, they wait to the last minute.
All of them?
The two that are at home, definitely. Wow. So they don't have extra time in their morning to then have to do some chores. No, that would be too stressful for us all.
Oh yeah, we can't be dealing with that during the week either.
Absolutely not.
Because there's always one that is slowing the whole train down. And two of my kids, they don't have a hurry bone. You know how like you can just like hurry up and like grab stuff and run out the door? Yeah. No matter what, they are still moving at and it's not that they're sleepy, they just don't move at a fast pace to like, you know, when you're in a rush, you got to get out the door. And I'm like, this is how you rush? Like, you don't have a rush bone at all whatsoever. I find that so interesting.
I don't think I have a rush bone either.
You don't? I do. I can get into gear.
Man.
No, I get it. I prefer to just
take your time,
lounge, and
that was another thing William and I were talking about earlier today. I was like, I think we missed the boat on the whole Saturday morning. Everybody gets up together and cleans the house,
right?
Because in the 80s, that's what. Well, I don't know. It wasn't all of us together. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it wasn't all of us together. But there were certain things that had to be done every Saturday morning before you went outside to play.
Right.
And it's hit or miss. At this point, it's almost like they think they're doing us a favor. I'm like, this is what we do.
Right. But I think also our schedules weren't the same as our
Saturdays,
kids.
We were busy. Super busy.
Like the kids have, this social calendar and sports and all of this stuff. My parents weren't doing that. My parents had 5 kids.
So that's the difference.
We, on Saturday morning, our schedules are so full with practice and
difference.
Yeah.
But when we come back, they do. Like, as soon as we come back from whatever we're doing, I'm like, this, and that needs to be done
Right.
before you move on with your day. So even though it's not the morning, it still starts off whatever their plans are. This needs to be done before you walk out that door to go anywhere.
Right, but
they still act like they're doing me a favor.
Oh,
Right.
But maybe
they're
that's
still
the teenage.
upset.
Maybe
They're
that's the
still
teenage
upset.
part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I tell my son the same thing, and he has a fit, and he goes off like, I don't want to come home from school, and now I gotta go in here and do this. Like he worked a job. Like I'm the only person that has worked all day,
Right.
and then even when I'm at work, I stop and I have to do this and have to
Right.
do that.
Right.
But yeah, to piggyback on what you were saying on Saturday, he doesn't even like to do stuff like that on Saturday. Like if we have a day, he'll get up and like sit down for like hours, and I'm like, I'll give you 30 minutes to an hour. I'll give you that.
Right.
But then after that, you need to get up and handle the business at hand. Like you have clothes to wash, you have clothes to fold that have stuff that's already been washed. You gotta clean your room, take all those bottles and crap out of your room. Like that's what on Saturdays I clean my room and my brother's room. On Saturdays when I was growing up.
Oh, wait a minute. I was in your brother's room now. I'm confused. Wait a minute. You had to clean William's room on Saturday?
I got paid to clean his room.
Shut up.
Because he was so dirty.
Thank you for sending your dirty brother out into the world.
Oh, that's not my fault. he had time. He went to the Navy. They had time.
You got paid to clean his room? I didn't never hear that. That's funny. When we got married, Camila wrote me a note and said, 3 things you need to be married to my brother.
Aww.
A loud alarm clock, a housekeeper, and and lots of snacks.
Was it snacks?
Yeah.
I know. I said.
Oh, that's sweet.
I think I say something about electronics or something.
No,
like that.
and let me tell you,
It was true. It was true.
Oh, that's sweet.
Very true.
That's sweet.
Okay, so moving on. We got time for one more.
All right.
Okay, so this letter reads, Dear Mamas. You like that?
Love it.
I have a daughter who turned 13 on Monday. She has always been a 4.0 scholar, and her teachers adore her. She also speaks very highly of her. Her friends used to be a group of well-rounded, respectable females. Lately, she has started to hang out with a different crowd of friends and has become more aggressive and moody. And I got my first phone call from a teacher today about her being on his IEP. But that doesn't make sense because you already have an IEP prior. And how she is shocked, and mentioning her new friends. And the teacher informed me that this crowd is not for her to be around. How should I approach this? Because I pick her up and drop her off to school and keep her in the house. This conversation will go as follows. Sorry, this is exactly how this was written. I do not like these kids you are hanging with, and since you have been with them, you're becoming a different kid, and we can't have that happen, and that's that, but I feel like that's harsh. So I don't know where the IEP is coming from because kids typically have an IEP ahead of time, so let's forget that part.
Yeah,
but she got a phone call home saying that she's hanging around with a different group of kids and she's changing. Thoughts?
That's middle school?
13.
Yeah,
has always
that's
been
middle. That's middle school. I mean, that's when they're gonna do that. That's part of growing up. Those other girls are probably the cool kids, and the cool kids are usually the naughty kids too. at sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I think she's just doing what middle schoolers do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's just the time. It's time for them to explore. It's time for them to make those mistakes. I think mom can certainly express her concern, but putting her foot down and saying you can't be friends with these people, that's not going to happen because they're at school together. She's not going to have control over that.
Right.
I think because I've had these conversations with my kids about just make sure you're being a leader. No matter what group you're in, make sure you're being a leader. And if you see people making bad choices, don't follow.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's you can say that as a parent, but kids still need to have that time to do what they're gonna do. And middle school is just hard. I don't think I liked any of my kids when they were in middle school, and I have never worked in a middle school just because that is such a difficult time. It is definitely a time when you have to be more strict. It's not a I'm gonna be your friend type of stage at all.
Right.
But I think she should just be as present and involved as she can be. If there are some opportunities for her to volunteer at school, to participate, and just kind of let the teachers know that, you know, I'm aware, I'm working on it at home too, so that they know that that they're partners in it, as opposed to, you know, you deal with her when she's at school, I'll deal with her when I'm at home, like some parents like to do. But I think it's just a tough stage, and you gotta let kids go through it.
I'm going through that actually right now because I think I'm
middle
the only
school.
person that has a middle schooler table. But
no, Grand Creeks are still middle school.
They're at the end though, right?
That's right, 8th grade. That's
they're
right.
8th grade. But you know, I actually have gone as far as writing a letter to the principal because of an issue that my son was having at school. And turns out he's still like friends with the kid that I wrote the letter about. So I kind of feel like I probably should have held back and not said anything.
Oh, you actually did write the letter?
Yeah.
You sent the letter?
Yeah. And my son was upset that I sent it, and I think he was upset is because he still considered this kid a friend. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like a two-edged sword. Like I feel like I should have reported because it was a reportable offense. Also, my son was upset because he is still a friend with this kid, and I feel like I probably shouldn't have gotten into the middle of it.
Because you embarrassed him?
Because I embarrassed him because they're still friends. You know, there's still a level of friendship there. I feel like they're kind of like frenemies because...
Wait, so the kid did something to Dean.
He did
and
something
then you
to
reported
Dean, and
what
I
the
reported
kid
it,
did.
but it was multiple
and
offenses.
And they're still friends.
It was multiple offenses, yes. But they're still friends. I don't know how, and I don't know why, because I tried to tell him, or if people do this to you, that's not friendly, and that's not really what friends do, But I have now, after the letter, and there has been a resolution to it. I just backed up and I just decided that I'm not going to say anything else about anything unless it appears to be like dangerous or like actually like hurting him. You know what I'm saying? Or he's coming home and complaining about it.
Yeah, that fine line is so hard. To when to step in as a parent and when to let them figure it out, especially in friend groups, because you don't want to jump in and stick up for your kid. You want them to figure things out. But I've always told my kids, you only need one or two real friends, and the rest are just like, they're the outer layers of Saturn. They're associates. They're people that you say hi to. You might be on a team with them, but choose your friends wisely. There hasn't been too many that I've said, stay away from this one or stay away from that one. I let them figure it out, and I also use what you said, be a leader. If they're doing this and you don't think that that's right, then you make a decision on how you want to conduct yourself. Because in high school especially, you have things on the line, you're playing sports, you want to always have the best reputation you can, and make as not so many mistakes that are unrepairable.
I always talk that up to my son too. Like you need to be a leader. Let people follow you. You don't be the follower. You know what I'm saying?
But some people are not leaders. They're just not.
Some people are not.
We can say that too. We're blue in the face, but if that's not their personality, then they're just not going to be that. But that doesn't mean that they have to be in trouble.
Right. That's true.
They can just choose not to do it.
That's true.
But every kid is not a leader.
By
any means.
And some leaders are not going to lead you in the right direction.
That's for sure.
That is true.
That too.
That's for sure.
So
that's for sure.
And I'll tell them that, some of the friends aren't going to be there forever. It just might be a friend that you hung out with, but then you have different interests and you're still friendly, but, you don't have to have your feelings hurt or I'm not going to call the other mom because they
Right.
decided they want to hang out with another kid more. We've had
Right.
that
Yeah.
in the past too, where well, who would you like to hang out with, and then they'll pick somebody else. So
Mhm.
friendships are tricky, but
Yeah.
Right.
And then you might be friends for a moment now, and then you see them later on in life and become better friends, So stuff moves around and, ebbs and flows of life.
And I
just
think as
changes.
parents too, what'll happen, because there was an incident with Landon when he was in elementary school, and I was really upset. I was upset with the mama, the principal, and everybody. And then a couple months later, this mother invited him to her son's birthday party, and I was like, how? I'm like, how did she even get my phone number? No, you ain't going to this boy's birthday party. And my son was like, you're still mad? Like, we're friends.
That is so
He's
crazy,
my
though.
friend.
Yeah.
Like, I
The
forgive
boys
him.
don't get over stuff a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I find, and that used to be my first mode of
But
defense.
you're still mad. I'm
still
No,
mad.
that used to be my first mode of defense. If one of my kids were having a problem in elementary with another kid,
Yeah.
I would always invite the kid over because I was like, you guys just need to hang out outside of school, figure each other out,
And where you
and then
can
it's
monitor
fine.
it.
Yeah, exactly. That was
Right.
always my first thing. But
Right.
it's funny, one of my kids now went to elementary school with one child who was mean to that child back in the day.
Mhm.
And now they're in the same school again, and
Oh.
she's still the same way.
she hasn't changed.
She's still the same way. They're in
Right.
the same circle. She's on the outer ring of Saturn, like I say.
Mhm.
But they're still running the same circles, and it's
Wow.
still a thing.
Right.
And we just crack up.
That's funny.
No, I don't know. I guess I'll hang on to what is it called? I don't let stuff go when it's
Hold a
concerned.
grudge.
Hold a
Right,
grudge
right.
when it's concerning my kids or my child. This particular incident, this kid was making fun of the fact that my son's father is dead.
Oh,
First of
my
all, I'm like, who
goodness.
makes
Does
fun
that?
of
Yeah.
somebody's dad, not
Oh.
or anybody's parent? I mean,
Wow.
that's cruel. And so I was upset at that because this
That's-
person doesn't know what my son went through.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
that's too deep. Like, what?
That's so
Who does
hurtful.
that?
Well, kids who want to hurt you to your core.
Yeah, that's hurtful.
But yeah, a 10, 11, how old is he? 11?
He's 11.
That's
He's
just,
12.
Mm.
But
That
that's
kid
that's
has-
what I got out of that. But that was also the lesson I told my son. Like, friends don't do that because you
No,
have a
no.
whole lot of friends that know what you went through and would never say anything like that to you.
Yeah.
So you have to keep your eyes open and that's not a friend.
no.
So
No.
yeah, that was part of that. This is the young man that had multiple incidents, and that's what
Wow.
moved me to write the letter because I was like, nah, this is like.
Are they in the
end
same
of-
classes?
Yes, in the same cohort. Yes, but they're still, and then they talk on the phone.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah, guys let go of stuff way
It's
easier
so
than girls
weird.
do. They just, they can have a full-on fight and then pick up a ball and play basketball. It's just
Right.
different.
Yeah, I just hope next year it'll be different. Dean will be there, but I hope the other young man is gone.
Yeah, but it's always gonna be
Wow.
somebody else.
Yeah.
That's true.
But he actually went through that last part of this conversation. He actually went through stuff like this in the 4th grade too.
Well, kids are just mean in general.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta grow into compassion and empathy.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
that doesn't just.
Yeah.
Well, do you have to grow into that?
I think so. I think it's
So.
taught, and your family, and
Mm-hmm.
you just
Grow
you're a
into
wild
really-
animal, and then you just. If you're not surrounded with people that teach you things, then
Okay.
you don't pick that up.
Okay, so you're meaning to say that you're taught that in your home and growing
Yes.
up, not like it's
And in
just
school, to certain schools.
because my son is kind of always been like that. Like,
Well, I think you have certain personality traits,
yeah.
but you can mold it, and you bring out certain things in children.
Okay.
It's just not always innate. So a kid
Right.
that is brutally honest might forever be brutally honest, but your parents, teach you how to
Right.
check
Soften
that.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I was brutally honest as a kid.
Mhm.
And I just didn't care. And so I don't think I started to care or started to pay attention to what I said until a couple friends probably call me out on it, or I can see the look on their face.
Right.
And so I have to be very intentional about what I say, because even now as an adult, like something will come up and it'll, like the first thing that'll pop in my head will not be the nicest thing, you know. And so,
but at least now you can add a little bit of humor to it.
Yes, but I remember,
but you're aware too.
I'm aware, but I remember as a kid that I could be mean. I could definitely be mean, and I didn't really care, you know, about hurting people's feelings or anything like that. I was very
I wonder where that comes from, though.
I don't know. I think I was just a brat, you know. I think I was able to get away with a lot of things because I was the only girl. I had 3 brothers for 11 years.
Yeah, getting away with stuff, definitely.
Yes, I was a daddy's
girl. What about at school, though? Like, you got away with it at school? Like, no one,
but I was still...
office.
But
like,
if she got in trouble at school, then she could come home and they might, I'm not saying this happened, they may have been like, oh, it's okay, they're just jealous, or, you know, they make an excuse for it instead of
excuse it away.
Checking it.
But so. I would rarely get in trouble at school. I was a good kid, or at least I would stay back, you know, kind of not be so visible with it, except for when I was
pinch somebody at the table.
No, I wouldn't pinch people, but what I did was, I remember like the worst thing that I did when I was in elementary school to a teacher. I don't know if I've shared this story before, but I had gone to the dermatologist for the first time because I had eczema really bad. I was in the 5th grade, and when I went to school late that day, and I took a business card from my dermatologist because I saw a dermatologist for the first time, and I went to school late, and I still remember my teacher's name, Mr. Henry. I'm so sorry if you're still alive. This was a very long time ago. I was awful. So what I did was, for one, he was one of those teachers that would mispronounce my name, so I would always give him a hard time. He would call me Don instead of Dawn, and so I would say like, "Oh, you calling me? Oh, I didn't know, because that's not my name." You know, I would do things like that. So I was already like on his list because I would do stuff like that. But this particular day, I was late, and I raised my hand like in front of the whole class, and I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm late, Mr. Henry, because I went to the dermatologist." Again, I'm in the 5th grade. Because I went to the dermatologist, and I got his business card for you because he can help you. Because I thought of you, and he could help you out with, you know. He had like these craters. He had like craters.
Oh my! You said that to his face?
I did. Like I didn't say it to his face. I said it out loud. I raised my hand from my desk with the card.
Oh my God!
I did, and so I got in so much trouble because
he probably turned beet red.
He was black. I don't think he couldn't turn beet red. He was pissed.
Okay.
He was absolutely pissed.
Cut him deep.
And the thing about it was,
he probably had been living with that for a long time.
And you know, and I think sometimes
his skin probably was bad as a child.
It was awful.
And she cut him deep.
But I think sometimes I probably thought I was really helping. Like maybe something was wrong with me.
Don.
No, I'm serious. Like I think something was wrong with me. Sometimes like there was like a disconnect. I think so. And
Wait, so now you weren't doing it to be mean? You were doing it to actually be helpful?
I thought I was being helpful. I did, because I still remember this like it was yesterday. I was in there like, oh my gosh, a dermatologist. Who knew? A skin doctor. Because my skin was awful. And then I'm thinking about, well, when I get to school, I'm going to be going to Mr. Henry's class. And I think maybe this doctor could help him out too. But when I tell
you didn't have the wherewithal
to not raise my hand.
Class.
Yeah, I could have gone up to him to his desk and, you know, given it to him with my tardy slip. But when I tell you, so it gets worse. It gets worse. This is how naughty and spoiled I was. So he called my house. He called.
No, he did.
This was back in the 80s when you had regular old landlines.
Right.
So he called my house.
You're like, hello.
My mother has no. My mother has
no.
no. My mother has a very high pitched voice. Like I would say, she would say my name, Dawn.
Yeah.
And so I had the same voice I have now. I had it back then. So I answered the phone. People used to always think I was the parent.
Yeah.
Mr. Henry called. I answered the phone.
No way.
I was acting like I was my mom.
No, you was.
He starts telling my mom the story, and I said, no, she didn't. And I said, you are kidding me. Like, I'm saying all of the things. I'm saying, yes, I'm
You were
saying,
acting like your mother.
I was absolutely,
You had a lot in
I
you.
was
You had a lot
absolutely,
of guts.
I was like,
could've never
I was
done
like, oh my goodness. No,
I wouldn't have had
no, she didn't. And then maybe a minute into it, it was going so well. Like I was like, her dad, we will talk with her. Oh, this is unacceptable. I was doing the whole thing, right? Next thing you know, Dawn, who's on the phone?
You like,
I was like, click. I hung up on Mr. Henry.
You call back?
And I unplugged the phone.
You knew.
I knew he was calling back.
You knew that what you did was naughty when you just said. When you just said you thought you were being helpful. You knew you were.
No. Once he called and the way he relayed the story, I was like, oh my goodness, this dude is trying to get me in trouble. So I was like, wow, just before dinner, like my mom was cooking, like really? So I hung up on Mr. Henry, I unplugged the phone.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I mean, like it just kept going. So when my mom was like, who was that? I was like, oh, it was a wrong number. She was like, you were on the phone for a long time. I said, they just wouldn't. They just kept going. I kept just lying more and more and more. So then a couple hours later, my mom was like, wow, the phone hasn't rang like in hours. Like, and I said, oh, let me go check it. Then I said, oh my goodness, the phone was unplugged. I must have accidentally unplugged the phone when I just kept going. So the next morning, before anybody was even up, it was probably like 6 o'clock in the morning. I hear that phone, and I said to myself, that better not be Mr. Henry. Do you know it was his ass? And what?
He knew it was your ass.
At like 6 o'clock in the morning, and what do I hear my mother saying? No, she didn't.
Exactly what you said. She was outside.
No, she did. You are kidding me. No way. Oh, okay. Oh, we gonna handle. Oh, okay. I was like, oh.
What happened to you?
So my dad came in there. My favorite person at the time. He said, you know, your mama sent me in here, right? I was like, Dad. He said, what? He was like, you know, she sent me in here to spank you behind. I said, come on. I said,
Daddy was spanking you?
I said, like a for real
Never.
spanking? We can't just like fake it. Like you can't just like hit the. He was like, no, you really crossed the line.
Oh my gosh!
So my dad spanked me before I went to school, and then I had to go apologize to Mr. Henry's ass, and I had to write standards. Remember those standards? I had to write one.
I will.
Yes.
On paper or the board?
On paper.
What did you say?
I had to write. I will not sass in class. Remember how it used to rhyme?
I ain't never wrote no standards down.
We need to have that on the mug. I will not
sass
That's our
in
new merch
class
coming soon.
100 times.
Oh.
That's it?
What
Yeah.
you just said?
I got a spanking.
That's good.
Oh,
What?
I got a
What
good.
are standards?
I got a good spanking.
Girl,
Yes.
you sound like you got off easy.
Let me tell you one thing. What my parents weren't doing, they weren't writing in asking people what should I do. They were just like, I'm coming in there with that belt. We gonna handle it. Whatever the handle is,
Right.
they was on it. But yes, I was So when my kids do things now, I'm just like, y'all ain't got nothing on me. You need to come better with your stuff.
The worst I did was change aside from having my naked boyfriend in the club.
Well, yes, I was about to say.
Change my grades on my report card.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. I was
That's
on
Because you could turn
forever.
an F to an A.
And a B to a D to a B.
Oh, yes.
Girl.
Oh, that's so
I didn't have to
funny.
do that because my parents didn't care.
Oh,
But that's okay. They
My
care
parents
now.
care.
no. They would have cared if you did that
I
to
was
Mr.
on
Henry.
punishment forever.
So.
On that note, you guys, if you need any more advice, you can write to us, and we'll do another one of these episodes soon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and welcome back again.